Hello everybody, my name is Ludwig and welcome to my Integrated Strategies 5 Ending 2 guide. In this video, I'll be showing what I typically do to prepare for Ending 2, what operators I bring, what squads I try to make, and then I will show how you obtain Ending 2, and then we will go over the stage and boss mechanics, and I will attempt it on difficulty or Ascension 15. So, let us begin. So, if you've seen my previous video, the squad is not really that different. I typically try to do something like this as I found it to be a reliable squad. Ainz is the best vanguard in the game, so very good for DP generation. Logos is the best caster, very good for a specific start. If you take him, his first skill is very good and his third skill, so he's very good even at Elite 1. Nymph and Virtuosa can do some of the highest specifically due to elemental damage. Most bosses are pretty weak to that in IS5. That combination is very lethal. Calcit with her integrated strategies module, her specialized one, makes her even only in integrated strategies makes her even stronger. And Monster does not take up a deployment slot. Opionis is really nice. Specifically, he has such high stats, and he has the ability to teleport with his third skill, or basically redeploy himself, so that is always reliable if you can get him, or if you have him. Shu, third skill, tons of healing and sanctuary. Wiš'adel, extreme burst, extremely high physical burst damage, AoE. Tex altar or Yato altar, very good for heli drop and damage. Ella can apply fragile, which makes the bosses take more damage, and she does very good physical damage. Anyways, Tin Man, typically I take him for his talent more so than his actual as an operator, because he is a good operator, but I really just use him because he's cheap and he takes off some of the load bearing as he just adds toil limit. Now these are only a very small section of operators. As normal, find what works for you based on, there's tons of factors. The random RNG for collectibles can really make or break different runs. The factors of what operators you have currently built, and other factors like if the game even gives you the recruitment vouchers, as sometimes the game will not give you the people you actually want, so then it becomes kind of a challenge with RNG. So other than that, experiment, find. This is just what I like trying to go for typically, but it's not my end-all be-all. This is not the end-all be-all. You have to have this. Always experiment and figure out new strategies, as that's a lot of fun too. So this is just what I typically bring or try to bring because it's reliable, for me at least. Alright, moving on. How do you obtain Ending 2? Ending 2 is obtained in the archives. First of all, you need to reach floor 2, so just play through a run until you reach floor 2. You will have a prophecy. It will be prophecy coronation. In this one, you have two options. One is the, I think, brother crowning the sister, and the other option is just getting a random collectible. The first option will give you pure white petals and wordless deed. You need at least 10 total toil limit, as they take 5 each. And then once you have obtained both of these, you need to find a false truth node, which you are guaranteed to eventually find. And then you need to put wordless or pure white petals and wordless deed together. You will gain Pledge of Babel, which will make operators cost more by +3, I believe. But you will now be able to obtain the second ending. Then all you have to do is do the run like normal and reach 5F or floor 5. And then instead, when you reach the prophecy, you will instead of doing the first ending, you will then have, since you have Pledge of Babel, you will be able to do the second ending. And that is all you have to do for Ending 2. So I have a run. I have the historical reconstruction completely filled, so I am getting these buffs. And I'm on difficulty 15. So. And I have some bad news. I just got, right before the fight, I just got this amazing epoch. -3 deployment limit. Absolutely, this is really bad. I can't deploy as many people. This is very bad, very annoying. This might make me lose the run, just right here. everything was going okay until that. So, well, before then, I started with the Tactical Destruction Squad on difficulty 15. I have 13 out of 14 life points plus 7. I have level 8 out of, I think 10. I have that. I have some money here. Collectibles are here. Here's all my collectibles. The Hand of Mystery, I'm going for the elemental damage combo plus arts damage. So the Disaster's Origin allows me the arts damage and elemental damage. Deployment limit's not terrible. Actually, so we kind of actually make up the deployment limit. I mean, it's not great, but with these two, it makes up the minus, so we're actually at normal deployment limit. Hand of Rubble is very good for artillerymen, specifically because I have Wiš'adel. Great Banshee's Veil for arts damage and elemental damage, mixed with the Disaster's Origin. Should be able to hopefully deal with the boss. Devilbane Banner, gaining skill points when dealing damage to Sarkaz enemies. Most enemies are Sarkaz. Ranged units have more attack. Yeah. Pledge of Babel's here, so you have +3. All operators cost more, and it leads the expedition in a different direction. So, this is all I have currently. I have currently this thought. I'm about to apply this Inspire. Rise and Fall. When used in the next battle, all allied units gain +30% attack and 50% max HP. Use that right now. So now I gain that buff. So here's the Prophecy node, and this is the typical standard first ending. But because I have Pledge of Babel, we will be doing the second. The operators I have, I got a temporary recruitment of Chalter, even though I own Chalter already, but I didn't really upgrade Chalter. So we have Logos, Ella, Moinar, Wiš'adel, Nymph Virtuosa, Texalter, Ainz, who I didn't get leveled up, sadly, and Tin Man, and a bunch of these other individuals. Or operators. Not sure if I'll use Moinar, but he is there. I kind of preferred, if I should have probably taken Opianus, but... well, here we go. You do Prophecy, declare the king's true names. It is Teresa with Teresis. So, here we go. It will change to Court Visit. Alright, so how does this stage work? Teresis is the main boss. He has high defense and pretty high resistance, but he has no elemental resistance or effect resistance. These guys will eat your people, and they do not care about block count. The first person they blocks them, they will eat. Makes them extremely lethal and very, very dangerous, the Wither Devourers. Besides them, so this is the way the stage works. Teresa is technically with Teresis, but Teresis is the main boss. Teresa is like a stationary sort of effect. She does help Teresis and does different things, mainly arts damage. But she doesn't actually, you don't attack her. She typically she stands right here. Teresis is the main guy. These sort of shadow things, the main thing he's going to do is spawn clones in these blue tiles here. These tiles he will then attack and send beams, sword beams, all throughout the map. You can destroy these guys, but typically it is very, very much annoying. These things do a lot of damage, and it's very painful. The first phase of the fight is, in my opinion, the hardest part. The second phase is not as bad. It's getting past the phase with all these guys that is really annoying. So you have to, and then their enemies will spawn from here. And then basically the way this boss works is if you do not defeat him fast enough, they will eventually just spam so much stuff at you that you basically lose. So, his first phase, the closer Teresis and Teresa are, the more damage they deal and the less arts and physical damage they take. He will use his sword and do a sword wave after charging, dealing damage to all allied units in its path, which is from his shadows as well. He will attempt to restore Teresa's SP, and then which will do a bunch of damage, which is also painful. And Teresa will also do something as well, mainly arts damage. And then the second form, the closer they are, the less damage they take. He will teleport to Teresa and he'll get rid of his shadows, and you basically just need to do a bunch of damage. If you do not kill him fast enough, they will drain a significant amount of objective HP, And when your mind is fractured, defeating Teresa's will summon several elite enemies. And when you're fractured, it is when you have the yellow bar. So just do not have that, and you should be okay. I can leak a few enemies, but I'm more worried about just dealing with the boss himself, as dealing with his summons, I think I have a plan, but we'll see. The plan is to put Eins here to help deal with the pressure and summons, and then use these tiles maybe, and basically some of these tiles to maybe try to do a bunch of damage. Maybe I'll try to put somebody here as well to deal with this side, like Ella. And then just try to burst him down, and that's kind of the strategy I'm trying to go with here. Yeah. So, without further ado, let me check the skills here. Yeah. This should be okay. Okay, let's go. Sorry if I sound a bit tired. It is, I believe, like 2 in the morning, so let me try this. So here he is. There's all his summons. So this is Teresa here. She will gain skill points, and she'll do a bunch of damage if once charged. Bam. As such, right? We got rid of some of the summons, which was kind of the plan. Now I'm gonna try to do this, deal with some of these over here. Just going to do damage.